Okay, welcome to video 4. We're going to talk about how to solve equations with fractions. So we have two types of situations with fractions. One is when we have fractions with no parentheses in the problem. So if we have this, the first step that we need to do is identify all of the terms in the problem. And remember that terms are separated by addition or subtraction. Every term must be multiplied by the denominator, which will cancel out the denominator so we don't have any more fractions. And then we'll just solve the basic equation just like we've done in the past. So let's look at an example for this. So this, we don't have any parentheses, we just have a fraction. So I'm going to multiply everything, all the terms, by 6. So I usually put them in parentheses and I multiply by 6 and write it above each one. So 6 over 6 will cancel here, so I'm left with 5x. Then I have this negative 17 times 6. There's nothing to cancel, so I just multiply that to get negative 102. And then on the right side over here, I have 58 times 6, which is 348. Now that we've gotten rid of the fractions, this is something we've already talked about solving, so this isn't so bad. Now I just need to get x by itself, so we need to get x's on one side, our constants to the other, so I'm going to add 102 since it's a negative here. And then we get 5x equals 450. And then we need to get x by itself, so I'm going to divide by 5 to both sides. And then I get my answer, which is x equals 90. So that's not so bad. Okay, our next situation is when we have fractions with parentheses in the problem. So in addition to what we've done, we now need to have the terms inside parentheses with a number on the outside that are grouped together. So those groups only need to be multiplied by the denominator on the outside. This will then cancel out the fractions. And then we will just solve our basic equation. So in this instance right here, I can see that these are grouped together. So I do have a fraction, so that means I'm going to multiply this whole term. So remember, there is multiplication here, but really that's not separating two terms. These are connected with multiplication. So this is one term. I'm going to multiply that by the denominator. Okay, so here I have a 4 on the top and a 4 on the denominator. Those will cancel, and nowhere else, so then I just multiply over here. So I get this 3 times 3x plus 8 plus 4x equals 128. So now I'm going to solve this basic equation. So first I need to distribute the 3. So when I distribute, I multiply each thing. So 3 times 3x gives me 9x, 3 times 8 gives me the 24, and then I just bring everything else down because I haven't done anything with it yet. Now I can combine like terms on the left side here because I've got a 9x and a 4x, so that combines to be 13x. So now I've got numbers only on the left, so I need to get this 24 over to the right side, so I'm going to do the opposite. Since it's plus 24, I'm going to subtract 24 from both sides. When I do that, I get 13x equals 104. And then lastly, to get x by itself, I need to divide by 13, which will give me my final answer of x equals 8. And that's my answer for that question. So here we have 2/3. I need to get rid of the denominator, the 3, so I'm going to multiply everything by 3. So when I multiply every term here, this 3 divided by 3 will cancel, so then I'm just left with the 2x. But in this next one, I have to do the negative 19 times the 3, which gives me negative 57. And then on the right time, 7 times 3 is 21. So now this is more like the equations that we've solved before. So I just need to, x is already on the left side by itself. I need to get the negative 57 away so it's on the right side. And remember for these, we can think like what's happening to x. It's being multiplied by 2 and then subtracting 57. So we do the opposite. We add 57 to both sides. That gives us 2x equals 78. And then to get x by itself, we need to divide by 2. And when we do that, we get our final answer, which is x equals 39. Okay, let's do one more together. So over here, I have 5x and I've got a half. So I want to get rid of the fraction. I'm going to multiply by the 2. Okay, so every single term is being multiplied by 2 here. So 2 times 5x, the 2 here by the 1/2 is going to cancel the denominator. 2 times the negative 4, and again, fraction here, so the 2's will cancel. So now I end up with, I've got the 10x because 2 times 5x is 10x. This fraction canceled, so I've got negative 1 times 3x plus 8 equals negative 8 because negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. And then again, the fraction canceled, so minus 7x. Now I do have this parentheses. I need to distribute the negative 1, so then I end up with 10x minus 3x minus 8 equals negative 8 minus 7x. Now on the left-hand side here, I do have x's I can put together, so I'm going to write, now row over, bring the smaller x over, which would be a negative 7x, so I'm going to add 7x to both sides. Then I get 14x minus 8 equals negative 8, so I got to move the 8, so opposite would mean add 8 to both sides. So then I get 14x equals 0, divided by 14. which we can do. If you put that in your calculator, 0 divided by 14, you do get an answer of 0. So this is not like a no solution or an infinite solution or anything. It is actually x equals 0. And that's your answer. Okay, that's it, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night.